Okay. And then starting audio recording in 3, 2, 1. And we're live.
Okay, you want to take a deep breath with me?
Yeah.
Inhale, exhale. Let's go 2 more times. In, out. Last one. In, out. Okay. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Who's doing I think it's you this time, right? With you, I did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, guys, to 11 o'clock with Yuvern.
And Jihan, the podcast where we talk about life, death, and everything in between.
Welcome back, guys. Today we have another segment of 2 a.m. news. So,
The only news that sounds like we're about to wrap. The only news.
look, we even look the part. I mean, look at us. Like we look pretty cool.
Yeah. And this episode, you can actually watch the recording because it'll be on YouTube. We decided that since we meet online and video call anyway, we thought, why the hell not record it and just post it up as well?
But like having the Microsoft Teams background filter thing, it 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 blocks away my hand gestures, so you won't be
Yeah.
able to see my physical expression. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
Like,
mine can see though.
I mean, every once in a while it picks it up, but it's like right now I'm showing you all 5 fingers, but it looks like I just have my thumb, and that isn't right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's selective with its fingers.
If you are an Indian auntie, you would totally be against this. I know a lot of Indian aunties who didn't like that my phone screen was cracked. They said it's a bad omen for you to have a cracked phone screen. So I'm assuming this uh, is part and parcel of that belief. But
You
anyway,
can you go to the Auntie Nirmala and tell her that Auntie Nirmala, I play Omen on the Valorant.
who is Auntie Nirmala? I don't.
I don't know, lah. I don't know. I just cooked that up. But anyway, guys, without further ado, we'll just kick it off to our first news. Jen, you want to kick it off?
It's okay. You go ahead. You sounded like you were very passionate about this particular news, and I really
Oh,
wanted you to talk
right.
about it.
Okay, so I just shared my screen. As you can see, so y'all would have probably seen it on Instagram, but I pulled up the link. A news that's been booming today, all over Twitter and Instagram was that there was this video of a man just going outside and taking out his rifle and shooting a dog, and the dog was whining away and screaming in pain. And the new title of World of Buzz reads, "These people should be punished. Man shoots mother dog and 5 puppies for playing on porch." So, in short, this dude just decided that, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go out, pull out my rifle, and kill dogs. It's some Alabama shit. And I got pretty like triggered with the whole thing, right? Because I saw this and I was just like, there's no way that this is in Malaysia. And how is this allowed? But my first question was that, how the hell does the guy even have a gun? Like, what are the gun laws in Malaysia? So when I looked it up, I found this page. Gee, wait, I forgot to ask you. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So I pulled up this. I found this site in one of my searches, and it's an Ask Legal where Arjun was the author, and he wrote like the ways in which you can find loopholes in the law in which you can own a gun in Malaysia too. And it was insane to think that although it's not as simple as in America where you can walk in and go, there are these people who literally abuse the power of owning a gun, right? Like you buy a gun for the sake of that, oh, I want for protection and whatnot, and you go out and just kill animals, thinking that they are lesser than you and such. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
Can I has a gun?
Yeah, but it's insane, Laji. Honestly, like you say, if you want a passport, you apply for one in the immigration department. You just all you need to do is apply a form in the PDRM, and once your license is approved, then I don't think there's a lot of protocols in which you measure the usage of the guns. And I don't think like there are no protocols in which where if you fire the gun, you need to go and report it and announce that this is what I use my bullet for and such, right?
Is
Like
that
those are,
so?
yeah, I don't see any protocols, or even when I did some reading earlier, I didn't see any protocols. Maybe there are, but I couldn't find any. But
Well,
because I know there are some countries where, sorry?
I mean, as far as I know, you have to report every bullet that you use. I mean, essentially every shot that you take. That applies even to the police, right?
Yes, that does apply to the police, but just I mean, going through his website and just searching it up, I didn't see any where that applies to the citizens as well.
Hmm.
Like,
But
and sorry,
the gun that the guy looked like he was holding was a hunting rifle. So perhaps I don't know how you get the licensing to be a gun bearing hunter in Malaysia, but it
yeah,
seemed like that was the kind of gun he was holding. And I assumed that he was probably like one of those hunters or like under some body in the government where you are granted the license to own a rifle for you to defend yourself if you are like a farm owner or you live in the wild or something like that. But it's very clear that this is a case of an abuse of the firearm lah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can see the screen, it's exactly as you said. There are four things listed on the document itself that you need to submit, and one of it is, of course, you to protect the farm from pests, protect yourself from property, from yourself, protect yourself and for property, sports, like you said, in a shooting club, and hunting. Of course, you got to be 18 years old with no previous mental illnesses and no previous criminal records. But to amount killing a dog in the name of to protect your farm from pests or to protect property is insane. That to me is an abuse of power.
I mean, that wasn't even the statement that he made. The statement that he made was that the dogs were playing on his porch and that's why he killed them.
Yeah, yeah. We could play the video, but I will refrain from doing so because it's very, very hard to watch and it's very triggering. But what upset me the most, right, G, wasn't just the fact that this news came out, right? What upsetted me was the worst was the people's reaction to all of these matters. Um, where is the recording? Yeah, what like did you see the tweets on Twitter that were going about on Twitter?
I mean, I saw a few, but I didn't really read them through.
Yeah, I will read a couple of them for you from my phone. Because I was so shocked, when I genuinely thought that this was a common thing that everybody is going to be like, no, this is some bullshit, and that you shouldn't pull this off. But pretty much, this guy says in Malay, yang backup anjing ni semuanya bodoh. Korang tak pernah kena kerja anjing. Rasanya seperti kali terakhir hidup. Then bulan lepas pakcik aku accident patah kaki sebab langgar anjing-anjing. So he went to jail because he knocked down a dog. That is the law, that's fair. But for the sake that because dogs are fierce and that dogs chase people, they justify the act of this man shooting down a dog.
I mean, by that logic, how many people are eligible to be shot? How many cruel people out there? How many people we hide from, run away from, and you guys don't say anything about that, but you say this about dogs. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's insane. Like it's all stupid. Like yang backup anjing apa pasal ni? Oh kawan rupanya patut tak pernah kena kerja. Aku kena depan tuan dia boleh tengok je anjing tu kerja. Like your justification is being chased by a dog, dude. Coming from a person who's been bitten by a dog like 3 times, no, nothing justifies that. Imagine if like a mentally ill person comes out. Are you saying that it's justified to just kill them because they're somehow less than you?
I, I think it's a very clear cut case. I don't think there should be bi-directional views on this matter. He's pulling
Yeah.
out a gun and shooting dogs for sport. For
Yeah,
sport. This is not a matter of defense or emergency or anything of that sort. It's very clear that they are even claiming that he did it just because they were playing on his porch. Some action should be taken. I hope that the necessary authorities take action on this matter. But
definitely.
yeah, do you have anything else to say regarding this news?
just one before we move on to the other. Because I saw all this going on, and I thought I didn't want to end it on a negative note. I didn't want to end it on the fact that we're just going to leave it as it is. When things like this arise and when there's so much negativity around, the first thing that came to my mind after addressing it on Twitter was that I don't want this to just spread around as a viral video without there already being sources available on which how you can help prevent things like this. So of course, you can see there are societies such as the Paw Animal Welfare Society or the SPCA Selangor or Penang, in which you can donate so that they can expand on their resources and branches in which they can adopt more of those dogs and they can save more strays from being out and in risk of maniacs like this going out and just shooting dogs down. I've always been a dog person my entire life, and it's insane because I've always adopted a dog from SPCA, and I'm very close to that society and such. And so, like, I just feel like we only really have these people because even if you look at our welfare, like the Majlis Pembandaran and stuff, their protocol is just, we capture the dogs within 24 hours. If nobody comes collects it, they shoot them down. And in more ways, they're actually very cruel in how they kill those dogs because sometimes they beat the dogs up till they die. They don't just, it's not like a euthanasia thing, guys. Like a lot of things go behind the doors, and this is the one way that we can help prevent it. So don't give the attention towards the shooters, give the attention towards how you can prevent the next dog from dying. But yes, that's all.
I hope you guys heard that loud and clear because it can do the world and our what do you call that, our environment, our world a lot of a good amount of benefit.
Yeah.
In other news, something that really kind of took me aback, like really shot me in the face, is that the number of COVID-19 cases today, as of today in Malaysia, the new cases are 2,188 cases, and majority of which coming from the Selangor cluster. That
Uh,
I don't know how to. It's a new record for Malaysia that we've hit more than 2,000 new cases. Like, what are you people doing out there? You know, it's especially since like most of the cases come from Selangor. It's just so clear to me like what went wrong and how it went wrong, but I don't want to say it out loud just because it can put this podcast in jeopardy, and I don't want to do that. But just be wary of other people, like be wary of people that can be affected by your carelessness, and be safe, take care of your hygiene. Please be careful whenever you meet your outdoor traveling, go out only when necessary. Like, if you are a business owner, or if you're a job, or if you run a company and you are forcing your employees to travel to work in these hotspots, in these cluster areas, please stop doing that. It is not right. You are only going to make this problem much much worse. It's very scary
yeah.
to see. It's like we have always kept our distance from the outside world just because of the pandemic, and now I'm even scared to like order food online, right? Like when the people come to deliver food at the door, you are so afraid to even pick like hold the pick up the plastic bag in front of the guy. Like, you would much rather the person drop the food on the ground and you pick it up later. Like, I think that was an initiative in was it Food Panda or Grab Food, where they have the contactless food delivery. I think more food delivery companies should implement this just because they should pay more attention to how serious the COVID-19 cases have become.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's insane. 1,623 just in Selangor itself today, and apparently the Teratai cluster, right? Apparently they said that almost it amounts to 1 in 2 people are positive of COVID, which means like half the entire place it has spread to. Uh, it's
What
pretty
I
scary. Yeah.
what I don't understand is that you know how Top Glove makes masks. Like, they are the ones who are manufacturing this health related health-related items, right? Masks, gloves, and all that.
Yeah.
But they are the factories that have probably the most active workers as of now, and it is a very big problem. Like this is how the COVID-19 cases spread, right? Like the the health ministry reported a sharp rise in cases in the area where top glove factories and dormitories are located, with 2,453 workers testing positive for the virus. That's about like just below half of their workers. And now they're deciding to shut down 28 factory buildings. It's very late for that, but I'm glad like they finally done it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right, G? This you can see here that this is no, wait. You can see here that this is where they decided to spike. Of course, quarantine starts, right? And MCO started, and they really started spiking in this one. And you can see that they have been going down in prices. So just saying, like it doesn't take a genius to call this out, but for a company that rose because of the pandemic and started booming because of the virus, it makes sense as to why they didn't take the necessary precautions. Or even I would even go to the lengths to say that they wouldn't mind risking their employees to keep this pandemic afloat to keep their profits up.
Yeah, I mean it's very much revenue oriented, right? That's the whole point. They
Yeah,
took benefit of the pandemic, but I used to think, hey, it's great that they're doing some good work, like creating all these gloves and other health related um, health wear and stuff like that. But now I'm slowly realizing these people are just money minded and they will do anything to make a profit.
yeah. Even if it means upkeeping a pandemic.
Now they have killed themselves.
Jesus,
Uh,
dude. What to do? The owners of the place are safely somewhere. People are in jeopardy are the B40s and the middle class. So screw them, right?
uh, Anyway,
Anyway.
moving on from the COVID related news. Do you have something to introduce, Yuvern?
Yeah, I do, but I will say that after this. But before that, I guess we can talk about. Let me see what's interesting here.
Okay, well,
Um, yeah, we can you pick up one more news because I want to find an
while
information.
you are searching for something to talk about, I wanted to talk about how the Curiosity rover, the rover which is on Mars,
Yeah.
found evidence of ancient mega floods on Mars, which could indicate the presence of previous life forms on the planet. And I thought that's pretty fascinating. I mean, it's just fascinating to me because I've always kind of been into uh, astronomy. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite interesting because the planet actually had the conditions needed to support the presence of liquid on the surface, and where there is water, there is life.
Oh
A-
shit.
And yeah, I thought it's if you're into space, then you probably found this interesting. But if you're not, then you can just skip past this little news that I introduced.
Oh my God. Okay, wait, G, now, I tried logging into in my IG just now on my laptop. It logged me out on my phone as well, so that's not helping. I don't want to waste time. But pretty much, guys, it's about this Malaysian lady who decided to expose a Grab driver for harassing her while she was on her journey back home late at night. I don't get, I can't get into specifics because I don't have the details in front of me, but it's this lady who decided that who got into a car and this guy asks her inappropriate questions like whether her boobs are implants and such, and then proceeds to speed up on ramps as in her quote to quote her words to make them bounce in all of that context. So she felt very uncomfortable in the car. But let the takeaway be that she suggested actually a pretty good suggestion, which is for Grab to implement an SOS system during their journey, at which point if the passenger feels unsafe, this will directly and immediately be reported so that there can be immediate action that's taken, not for them to fear their lives and wondering if they'll make it back home or whether the journey will be safe, because I thought that was a damn good idea and I'm surprised that hasn't already been implemented. or in the works of it. Seeing the
Yeah.
number of times where Grab and Uber and all of these e-hailing services we've encountered, right? All this kind of
Yeah.
harassment cases and such.
Yeah. I'm also just as surprised. I've always thought that there has been some kind of emergency feature on the. Has there not been an emergency feature on the app? I feel
I
like I
don't
feel like
think
I've seen
so.
it. Is it
You
just
have
me?
you?
I thought I have.
I
I may just be lying to myself.
I know that I haven't because I was very surprised that this is something that I hadn't come across or thought about. But I was just thinking to myself, is there a reason as to why, right? Because it would make sense that people might abuse those powers where they might accidentally, like, imagine if those numbers would directly call emergency services,
Hmm.
then that may put a certain jeopardy on, like, what if it was a false call and such. But I don't think but if I really think about it, there should be some accountability to the drivers. And the thing is, right, the problem is what, gee, there is accountability. Their name is there, their car is there. The Grab should be able to track them down, right? So how are they still so brave?
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like a lot of meme culture and even like certain animes or certain shows have contributed to this issue. But I'm not going to say that it is the sole reason. I'm just saying that when people become desensitized to these things, have you seen that meme where there is a I don't know what ethnicity this lady is of, but it is a woman who looks like she's from Asian descent. I
Mm-hmm.
think she's Korean. With she has a large breasts, and
Yeah.
she's wearing a low cut dress and sitting in a car, and
Mm-hmm.
the caption just says uh, as though she's sitting in the passenger seat of a cab, and now it's time to take the road which has a lot of bumps. Kind of this. I'm saying this in my own words, but that's what the meme was saying, right? And it's
Oh my
just
God.
people think it's funny, you know. People think it's
Yeah.
funny, but they don't realize the kind of impact it has on people. It desensitizes you from the problem and makes people a lot braver in uh, in actually carrying out these kinds of activities. And I hope that people realize this problem.
Yeah, I just got access to my IG. Shout out to Miss Sherry Latifah who came out and decided to speak up on the matter. It isn't easy to come out and speak about these things that are very personal and very private, but it is very just as important to do so because it happens way more often than you think, and these are things where corporates like Grab and such should not take lightly. There should be a zero tolerance policy to things like this because it is happening way too often. Like we've seen this because the cycle is the same, right? It goes viral on the internet. People talk about it for a few days. It goes silent for a few weeks and it pops up again. But where is the change? Grab never comes out to say anything. Grab never talks about the kind of actions they are going to take. They always look at it like, oh, this is the driver problem, this is the passenger problem. What about the middleman that is enabling those things?
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you brought this to light. In slightly more positive, you can take this positively or negatively, but I think you will enjoy this news just as much as I did. There is a family of computer scientists that managed to
Uh-huh.
develop a blueprint for machine consciousness. It is a they wrote a
No
it is
way.
they wrote a preprint paper on the theoretical computer science perspective on consciousness, and theoretically this machine, this algorithm, this blueprint uh, allows the machine to demonstrate adherence to the theory of time, and for it to experience the machine equivalent of pain and pleasure. So this means that the only difference between us and a machine is that a machine wouldn't technically go through a midlife crisis because the machine, it doesn't fear death. It doesn't have the concept of time, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
understand it. But these ones these ones could understand the concept of time. They're
Oh
creating
my God.
human like they are basically reverse engineering human consciousness into mathematics, right? This is what it says in the article. Um, in this context, this CTM stands for a conscious Turing machine, referencing Alan Turing, uh,
Nice.
also called a conscious AI. It is it appear to be any machine that can demonstrate consciousness. That's what a CTM is. So the big idea here isn't necessarily the development of a thinking robot, but more so a demonstration of the core concepts of consciousness. So essentially, they want to take the essence of human, like the human-like nature of humans, and express it in mathematical terms. And that's exactly what they did. They deconstructed it. This is what the scientists said. They're a family of scientists. I don't really know their names, but their surname is Blum, B-L-U-M. It could be Bloom or Blum. These scientists, they work at the Carnegie Mellon University, which is in the US. Let's see what they said. An important major goal is to determine if the CTM can experience feelings, not just simulate them. We investigate in particular the feelings of pain and pleasure and suggest ways that those feelings might be generated. We argue that a complete knowledge of the brain circuitry, including the neural correlates of consciousness, cannot explain what enables the brain to generate a conscious experience such as pain. We propose an explanation that works as well for robots having brains of silicon and gold as for animals having brains of flesh and blood. Our thesis is that in CTM, it is the architecture of the system, its basic processes, its expressive inner language that we call brainish, and its dynamics that make it conscious. That's insane. It won't. They designed a system that as for now it's kind of like a prototype, right? It's only meant to demonstrate consciousness, so it won't act like a human or convince you that it is thinking. It works like a digital hourglass where each grain of sand is information.
Oh shit, dude.
It's quite insane. It is like, did you watch The Good Place?
Yeah, I did.
So you know Michael, right? Like Michael, he's a if you guys haven't watched, please like shut your ears for like a couple seconds. There's gonna be a small spoiler, but so Michael is a demon, right? And he's immortal. He doesn't understand the concept of time, right? But when he understands that there's a possibility that he could die, he goes through a crisis.
You're right.
They call it an existential crisis, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, these machines that are based off these kinds of mathematics can experience existential crises.
That is insanely scary. Imagine saying, "Hey Siri, tell me the time." Be like, "Not now, Yuvern. Not now."
My God, it's interesting. I mean, what do you think the applications could be for these kinds of technology?
The first thought that comes to my mind in this context of technology is in the field of like psychology, in the field of, I think especially in the field of psychology, where there needs to be a sense of empathy, there needs to be a sense of understanding, where it's not just some like symptoms listed, let's list them out, right? Because there was this study that was done in the 50s and or 60s, where what they used to do was they gave like scenarios to doctors in such that, hey, there are 10 patients here, and that all this is going to go down in context of what's the saying? Like with different symptoms, right? And the doctors were supposed to decide which patient gets treated first and list them down in orders. So then there was always this like other theories that branched out. It's like, oh, is doctor choosing patient A over patient B, meaning that patient A's life is lesser than patient B's? And in those kind of situations, how are the doctors going to evaluate and make sound judgments? And from that was the base study, right? And my friend Junran from A levels during a debate once brought up the idea that in juries there should be an AI-like system that they try to implement in the medical industry, in the law industry, in which people are where you put in the cases in and the AI decides whether you are eligible for bail or not. But what they found in the flaw then was that the AI is not going to be able to be subjective and have the empathy to decide in actual sense, to judge a person. But being able to actually give AI consciousness, I like to see the change in them in the results, how much emotion impacts our decisions, and the fact that you can actually tabulate them now because it's mathematics, it's pretty
Yeah,
insane.
it makes sense, right? Because now it can feel empathy because it knows that it can die too,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Shit.
very
Oh my God.
interesting
We have
revelation
to
in the world of
rethink our
science.
pronouns for these things. It anymore? It's like, you think I'm an it?
Am I an object to you? Stop objectifying me.
Oh
Okay, well,
my
that's
God.
not funny. I mean, that's an actual problem in the world. I'm not
But,
trying to I'm not trying to desensitize you from the issue or devalue the issue. Anyway,
um, so, moving on to other news. This is pretty scary, guys. Again, from World of Buzz. World Bank. Nearly 75% of Malaysians will have less than $1,050 ringgit monthly benefits at the age of 54. Now, this is coming up from a time after the controversy. This was, of course, given by the World Bank. If you want to source it, there's a YouTube video you can watch. It's 1 hour 42 minutes long. I'm not going to bore you with that. But essentially, the gist of it, from what I understand, is that current during the pandemic, the government has altered the budget in which people can withdraw funds from the EPF, right? They can
Mhm.
withdraw from their account one. So that has been a move that has been called out by a lot of people saying that this is not good in context of the future. You allow people to pull out their retirement funds now. This is not going to benefit them in the long run, right? Because that's essentially for most people, they don't save outside of the one that the employee takes from your salary. And
Mhm.
so by being able to withdraw from those funds, you are risking the potential outcome, like what if you're like 54, you no longer can work, and you only have $1,000 per month. And imagine if you have a family, imagine if you have children that still need your support. That puts a lot of things at risk. So the pretty much the projection isn't great when it reads that three-quarter of us are going to suffer from this. Because think about it, right? Like, like starter salaries of 3,000, and we know that that is far from enough for us. So being able to think that at the age of 54, where more factors are in, where more factors like loans, factors like medication, when health becomes more risky. So I think that's a bad move on the budget. Of course, the country's economy itself is facing a lot of hurt, and it's been deteriorating.
What do you
So I
mean
don't.
by
Sorry.
what do you mean by a starter salary of 3,000? What is the minimum wage
Oh,
in Malaysia?
oh my God, you're right. 1,500.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my God, it slowly slipped my mind. You're right.
It's
I
much
was start,
worse.
guys.
It's
Yeah, guys, it's a lot worse. Oh no,
Wait,
no, that's
this
bad.
is just
Yeah,
something that I have to clarify.
yeah,
You were talking about EPF in Malaysia that people are now allowed to withdraw from their EPF accounts, right?
yeah, yeah.
I thought that the only change that was made was the percentage in the EPF, in how much they take from your salary. So that was my
Oh,
understanding of it. I didn't know
yeah,
whether
yeah.
they actually changed anything else besides that. Because
No,
now,
no, 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 go on.
uh,
Sorry.
yeah, now they were going to shift back this EPF thing and change back the EPF percentage back to normal as it was before because they assumed that the lockdown was going to end. This is with the assumption, the preconceived assumption that the MCO was going to end, but now I don't think that's going to happen. But that's what I thought. I thought that they just changed the percentage so as to give you more money in hand and put in less money into your EPF savings.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual thing they did was, so I thought you could clarify that.
I think you're right, but they're two different news. This was in the midst of the pandemic. Like if you were suffering from something, especially like if you're a small business owner and you then can withdraw funds from your account one, which was initially the account that you can withdraw from as well, but you needed like solid reasons. You can withdraw from account one if for hospital, for education, and I think there are a few other things that you can withdraw. I think purchasing a car for down payment as well, you can withdraw from account one. So I think it's separate from the percentage of withdrawal, like percentage of payment from the employers. But this was something that the government announced to help upkeep the what's the term? The life, the well-being or the lifestyle of the citizens, especially when a lot of people are being retrenched and stuff.
I just kind of feel like there could be much better initiatives to be taken rather than changing the percentage of the EPF of people.
Exactly right. I mean, really think about it, like really objectively thinking about it. As millennials, as like for us, if you're a student, the government gave you 100 ringgit in total in e-wallets, and you could never use e-wallets for anything useful. Most of the time, you spend it in like I don't know. So I spent it on chocolates, and most people didn't even know that it existed. So the money was taken away if you don't use it. Um, I don't know. I economically the government is just we're spending money we don't have. We've covered this. Like we're spending
Yeah.
way more money that we don't have.
Uh, well, in other news, this is something. It's not really a news, but something that I just learned as I was scrolling through the news, and I don't know why I didn't figure this out based on just logic, but
Mm-hmm.
so you know how lizards, like, they, as a defense mechanism, they detach their tails, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that apparently alligators can do that too?
No way. Nope. No, I don't buy it. No.
Apparently, they this is from some PhD study in ASU. Any idea what ASU is? Arizona
Asia.
State University.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. A friend of ours went there.
A friend of ours, Arizona.
Yeah. And I'm
Uh,
like, not a friend anymore.
okay. Wow, damn. Why did you bring it up then?
Sorry.
Okay, I don't know, actually know whether the alligator can detach its tail, but it has the ability to regenerate the tail, the whole tail, including the cartilage, the tissues, everything about the tail, even the bone. That,
Yo.
that's that's something that I don't know if I ever want. I mean, lizards don't. I mean, alligators don't belong to the lizard family, do they?
They are reptiles, but
Oh yeah, you are right.
yeah.
So I don't know why my brain did not put that together. Logic is taking a hit today, guys. 2 plus 2 is 5 now.
2 plus 2 is 5 now. Hey, are you sure? Oh my God, that would be so weird though that they can do that. Because let me just share my screen real quick here. Check this out. There's this alligator. It's on National Geographic. Where the alligator doesn't have a tail. I mean, can I turn on the audio? Anyway, what it's saying is that he lost his tail while being transported illegally. And so what these people did was, let me just fast forward. They
It
3D printed a tail, Jihan. They 3D printed an alligator tail and they attached it, as you can see in like that background. They
no, this
attached the
is
tail.
this is an initiative. This is a kind of initiative that I just recently found out that people do for these kinds of animals. Even I saw one for an eagle where the eagle lost the top part of its beak, and they
Yeah.
3D printed a beak for the eagle, and it looked hella cool.
So this is some, you know what? This is some how to train your dragon shit.
Oh yeah, toothless.
Oh my God. Did you see this on Twitter? It's been popping up where they had wait, this one,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, you saw this, right? I thought it was amazing. I thought it was amazing that these animals weigh a ton, literal ton, and they are able to build prosthetics to support the weight of the elephants. Like that's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that humans are putting effort into helping animals. Aside from
Exactly.
all the painful news you see out there. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good that we're coming to an end, starting the episode with saying that, oh, like these are the tortures that humans are doing, but ending the episode with like, oh, there's no people helping animals.
yeah, it's nice to end. I mean, to have some good energy on the podcast when we are always talking about some serious issue that goes on in the world.
Yeah. Oh my God. G, any last news you want to Isa?
I mean, this is a news that really fascinates me. Jupiter and Saturn, not Satan. Jupiter and Saturn.
Yes.
This is an event that last occurred in 1226, 800
Okay.
years, about 800 years ago.
Yeah.
And apparently, in December 21st, 2020, this year, after sunset, after sunset is probably US time, um, two the Jupiter and Saturn are going to look like a double planet. They are going to align. I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know what they mean by.
Oh shit. Are they going to start like eclipsing each other?
I think so.
Wait,
Oh,
Jupiter is the yeah.
as in they're going to they're going to get very close to each other. They are going to be so close to each other that they will be separated by less than a full moon.
Yo. It's going to look like boobs. Like two boobs.
Oh, that's very interesting. The closest approach will be on the December 21st. Wow, it is a celestial event that can be observed anywhere on Earth. But the farther north someone is, the less time they have to catch a glimpse, which means we'll probably have a lot of time to experience. We are very much on the equator.
Yeah. Yeah, we have just the right time, like Goldilocks would say, being that we have to be in the center of stuff.
Goldilocks? What
You
did
know how
Goldilocks say?
you know how can't you say that if it's too hot, ew, if it's too cold, ew. This is just right. Yeah, we also are quite in the center of
Right,
that's yeah.
right. Sure, if that's how you want to describe Malaysia as a country.
Hey, come on, all geography taught me was that we are on Garisan Katulistiwa, which means that this prevents us from all the earthquakes and stuff. And okay,
Yeah,
cool, cool, cool.
the one thing that I distinctly remember, kita di luar lingkaran, what is ring of fire in Malay? uh,
Bulatan api.
did you not remember studying that for geography?
I remember, but I don't remember that.
Lingkaran api Pacific or something like that.
Oh shit.
Ring of fire, Pacific ring of fire. Is that? I'm assuming that's what it translates into, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that. It means that we are in a place where we are not affected by certain natural disasters, lah. But
Yeah,
we still get hit by a good amount of natural disasters, lah. I don't know why I said good
exactly.
amount, bad amount of natural disasters.
Yeah, something happens in Japan, something happens in Indonesia, in India. We still face it, so I don't see what's great about not being in the line.
Collateral
Uh,
damage. But yeah, okay,
and
that kind of sums up 2 a.m. news for you guys.
news. You know what? Episode 1, we read the news. Episode 2, we ranted our heart out on the news.
I mean, what's the point of us existing that people can just go and read the news? Like if they're not going to
Yeah,
hear our input and how we feel about the goddamn news, you know.
yeah, fair
So
enough.
we hope you enjoyed this segment of 2 a.m. You can say it.
2 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. And thank you for staying up to this long, and we hope to catch you in our next episode.
We
Take care,
hope to
guys.
really, guys. Like, thank you so much. You take care. Till tomorrow, guys. Cheers. I don't know why.
Cheers.
Okay, I'm stopping audio recording
I stopped audio recording too.
and I'm stopping video recording. Say bye. Bye.
Adios. Bien. Arrivederci. I don't know.
Sayonara.
Uh, how do you say it in French?
Au revoir. Au
Au revoir.
revoir. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Adios. Please live. Like that.
Subscribe.
Please
Subscribe.
subscribe to my channel. Like and comment. Click the notification bell so that you always hear my updates. Oh my god, I feel like a YouTuber.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Ciao.
Bye, guys. Bye bye.
Stop.